future?
Ideally, my goal has been to get sufficient people who matter to believe this, so that we could develop the facility further and use it to save lives. And because my dreams started with preventing terrorism, which is what I've always done, to take it worldwide, and not only prevent and for me to monitor terrorism in the United Kingdom, but to teach people in other countries of the world how this can work, so that they can counter terrorism. And that is an important practical result,
right,
of what we can achieve if we can get this right.
Okay, now let me just tell
And I
you,
believe that's what God wants us to do.
if that's what God wants us to do,
I think so.
I am telling you today,
Yeah.
right now, Christopher, that I have been in the process and am ready to now initiate. In fact, I have a document which I will show you that's in the car today, coincidentally, about a new company that I plan to create, which I am creating. It's called Integrating Science, Inc. And it has a series of companies which Integrating Science, Inc. is the hub of the wheel.
Yes.
And around them are spokes. And each of these spokes are separate companies. And they integrate science.
Could we call them splines?
You could call them splines.
Yeah.
What are splines?
Well, spline is Jewish. Anything, Klein, spline.
Okay, wait. Anyway, let me just tell you.
I'm not taking the mickey.
Okay.
But actually, I've got keyways and splines.
Okay, we're going to get here.
So I have a reason to be funny about that.
That's good.
Because there is a funny little side to this whole
absolutely,
issue.
absolutely. But let me just finish it. There are 4 or 5 splines or spokes to the wheel that have already been conceived and will be implemented. One is called Afterlife Science, Inc., which is with helping people with deceased people and mediumship and all that kind of stuff. Another one is called Healing Energy Science, Inc., and that will be the healing side. But and the people, each person to direct one of these companies is somebody who has the following characteristics. They have the talent. That is, like in the case of Afterlife Science, it's a medium. They have they have a business sense. A business sense.
Sure, because otherwise...
Right, they have a business sense.
They have to...
They are able to communicate and deal with multiple levels of people.
Yes.
They have the utmost integrity.
That's a
and they're for the best and the highest
requisite.
good. And they're for the best and the highest good.
Yeah.
One of the spokes for the wheel of this Integrating Science, Inc. is going to be a company called Dream Detectives Science, Inc. And see, everything that I do will have a scientific basis.
Oh, sure, it has to. But I mean, that was the whole point of me coming here, was to lay down on the ground
what I was going to suggest
what
to you
I'm doing
is,
for you in a
that
scientific way.
if you want, Christopher, and we can talk about this later, but I want to get back to the dream here momentarily, but just so we have it on the record, we could create a Dream Detective Science, Inc. One of the things we would do is this. Another thing we would do is provide courses for teaching people how to do this, and so on and so forth. And I would encourage that you, that you consider becoming the president of this company.
Well, terrorism is my main goal.
Gotcha.
Always has been. It started with that.
Exactly.
Started with bombers and terrorists.
Right. Today we have this happening.
So I owe it to all the people who have helped me that have been killed by terrorists. And in particular, I owe it to my friend who was killed by terrorists, Ed Henty. He was blown up by an IRA bomb that my friend from Phoenix dreamt about as well.
It's a deal. And
So
Penny might join you because there's money attached to this.
If there's money, Penny will come.
It's a deal. Penny will be part of the thing. Now let's get to the dreams.
Right.
First of all, give me what you dreamt today.
Right, last night. What is the name of the place I will be taken to by Gary in the morning? And I dreamt of relay, shutters, open and closed. Well, shutters, open and closed, give
By the way, yeah, go ahead.
Cameras or shops? Right?
And by the way, they have all kinds of things where they open and close those things and they lock them up and everything.
Yeah, so the shops and cameras as well. Cameras can be open and closed.
Okay, let's not forget the card.
Because they have a shutter.
By the way.
Yeah, let's do that now.
Yes, because I don't want to forget.
Let's do that now. I just left it in there. It's the first time I've done it, but Maybe we were meant to do it. Maybe I wasn't meant to be walking around there taking pictures.
At this moment.
At this moment. It's back in. Right. Looks like we need to climb on the roof. Well, we haven't yet been on the roof of anywhere.
No.
2 ladders will help if we move them. Also 2 journalists. I don't know what to do with any of that.
But we saw ladders.
We've seen some ladders in the store where we bought the tambourines.
Right.
But they weren't... I don't count that.
Okay, fine. Perfect.
I don't count that.
Good. That's good.
I don't count that.
Good.
Because we didn't climb up them. They didn't take us to a roof.
Good.
They were in a music store.
Perfect.
All right. Swords, throwing them, can hear the swish sound as they fly through the air. Place to vote. Well, a place to vote in England is a booth, what we call a polling booth. They're normally at schools, and in the school they have these little cubicles where you pull a curtain and you can do your secret vote. In England, voting isn't secret because when they give you your voting slip, they write your number on it. So everybody in England can find out who everybody voted for, which I think is wrong. And it is against our voting system, and it ought to be exposed one day. And maybe one day I'll do it.
Okay.
But
We got to
anyway.
Let's go through this real quickly. But I already said something about a vote, and I said if I had a vote,
I know
it
you
would be
did.
perfect. Okay.
I know you did. Right. So, but you're not going to give one. You're wearing a helmet, a sort of a crash helmet. I haven't seen that today either.
Nope.
Right. And then I got vote again.
Mm-hmm.
The swords fall to the ground flat, and you hear the sound of them in the air as they land.
Right, and what are you predicting? You already said that.
It's got to be airplanes.
It's got to be airplanes, okay.
Because I don't believe it's swords.
Right, okay.
But swords there is some meaning, there's something other meaning to this.
We'll see, okay.
And then there was a window and a meter and a parking meter, right?
Right.
Some sort of meter in the window. So, something Gary is about... Oh, so day 9 is about how much you're given, but how much was lost because it was not written down, but you remember during the next few days.
Okay.
Now that's interesting because the girl in the shop was telling us about the dreams that she'd had over the last few days.
Right, and she also dreamed of being downtown.
She also dreamed of being downtown.
Right. In the very area where we were.
area where we were.
Exactly, okay.
So who is it? So last night's, the only thing that I can take out of last night's, I took out helmet, crash hat, speed, sound versus light, right? Taxi or meter, because there was a window with a meter.
Right. Now we went to meters.
We saw parking meters.
Right, we had multiple meters.
Yeah, and in the tape earlier I said that this is something to do with the time you're allowed to park, and it's something that you either hang in the window or, but it's to do, and when you play that back you'll see that I said that.
Good.
But it ain't no big thing.
Right.
On day 9 we don't need no big things.
Right, but
we
it's
need
still
lessons.
important. Right,
We
but the
need
meters
lessons.
were there.
The meters were there, and that's the first thing I realised.
Right.
These are my parking meters.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. The 24th of the 7th. Car, 3 of us. We haven't had 3 of us yet.
Right.
Girl walking gets attacked. Right.
Right.
I say let's go up and help her.
Right.
If we take that as where people get attacked, that happens downtown.
Absolutely, all the time.
And it probably doesn't happen at the other places we've been to because we've been to museums and galleries and people don't get
dangerous place.
This is the first dangerous place where there's real danger on the streets and people get attacked. Right, and I was worried about that. And I've got shaft, splines, keyway. Steering wheel comes off the shaft. Try and turn back. Drive round again. Right, now I'd do a whole load of different things with that in England.
What would you do?
I would do steering wheel SW. This would be central London. It would be government.
Okay, so you drive around.
So this would be the centre of town, right, in London.
Where did we go?
We went to the centre of town
In Tucson.
in Tucson.
Catch.
But in London, I would have said this was central London by Parliament, by where all the office buildings are.
Well, that's exactly where we just went.
I know it is. I know it is. But I wouldn't have been reasonably expected to have translated it that way for here.
I know, but you were in London then.
I know.
I'm just finding it interesting.
Yes, but that's all I'm doing.
I find that really interesting, because I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I would have put SW, right? I'll put it in now for the camera, so I'm putting it in, and the date is the 10th?
Yeah, write it down, yes.
10th of August.
Right, so you're writing it down now.
Yeah, and I'm going to draw a big thing around it so you know that I wrote that on the 10th of August.
Good, and it's on the tape too.
SW equals Central London.
Right.
That's what I would do if I was there, and I was there
at the time that this happened.
At the time.
Right.
Right.
And I took you to Central Tucson.
And you took me to Central Tucson.
Where all the big parliament
So there
buildings
is an analogous situation.
Definitely.
But it doesn't blow me away. It doesn't blow
me away either. It's just there.
Yeah. I say, come on, by the time we get back, they may have hurt her. Well, we haven't seen anybody being hurt, but I've got an awful feeling things are going on today down there.
And we're going to get a newspaper,
we might see it on the
newspaper.
Local newspaper.
Or watch television.
Yeah, local newspaper or watch television later. So something happens to a girl down there. Girl walking gets attacked.
Right.
I got a feeling that's going to happen down there in the next 24 hours.
Could be.
It could be. Dish, looking for a dish, right? Did have one somewhere. This is like a satellite dish.
Is that what you said?
Well, I've got picture senders, video senders, and when I was talking before...
then that's satellite dish.
Yeah, that's satellite dish.
We saw a huge number of satellite dishes.
Yeah, they send, right. And then we've got exhibition in tents.
Right. And you said nobody's there.
And
I took
there.
you to the convention
It's a shame,
center.
Almost no one turned up.
Right. And what I told you was I took you to the convention center.
Yeah, where they have
where they have the Gen Show.
Yeah.
Which is the #1 thing that I go to.
The exhibition in tents.
And they have exhibition in tents.
All right.
That's what's important.
So we've been somewhere where they have exhibitions in tents. Right.
Which is downtown.
Right, so that was all there was for that one, and there was only one more, and that will be, let's see, what are we on, day 9? So it'll be the 19th of June.
Or the 20th? The 19th.
No, it'll be the 19th. Because I started on 1. I deliberately started on June 11.
11.
So that 11 was 12, 13, so that it was easy for me. I deliberately started it then. That dream with policemen, bars, drinking, Jewish man and his father. Some kind of shop. He offers me some food. I say no, but thanks, I will have a drink. Right, story. Someone bought a gun, shot someone with it. This is all to do with where we've been.
I know. In fact, I was taking you to a gun shop. That was part of my plan today.
Was it?
Yes. I haven't been there yet.
No.
Because I would have walked. You didn't want me to walk down
I
the
felt
street.
too.
You were afraid. But I would have walked you to a gun shop. That was part of my plan for today.
Yeah,
Just for the record.
I didn't want to do it.
I said, but I'm telling you for the tape, for the record.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Right. But the interesting thing is the man who's in the shop.
It actually would have been a pawn shop.
I asked him.
Yes. Was he Jewish?
Was he Jewish?
And he said yes.
I asked him, did he have a son?
And he said yes.
His son's name was Dave.
Which you got in the dream.
Which I've got in the dream. And he lives in San Diego.
Which is where Bill Simon is coming from.
Where Bill Simon's coming from. And I asked you to ask him if he was Jewish.
And we called him and he was.
And you called him and he was.
Okay.
Not that it matters, but it matters for the continuity of what we're doing.
It matters for the total pattern.
And then we've got EHT, very high tension. Right? And that's what has been putting me off today. Right?
What does EHT stand for?
It means trouble.
But what does EHT stand for?
Extra high tension.
Extra high tension.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
but you were feeling negative edge. You said evil downtown.
Yeah, I didn't like being there.
Right.
That's what I was feeling.
Right.
Last time I had EHT was when my son Jerry was born, and I had it in relation to shops, and in particular a shop called Odeon Radio, and the midwife who delivered my son's father owned that shop. And that's another long story, and we do it another day. But there's also a gold and jewellery shop, which you didn't take me to because I was worried.
Yes, you didn't let me go.
No, I didn't let you go, but you said we were going to go there.
Yes, we would have gone to that jewelry store.
But I'm not worried. This is teaching a lesson. That I've seen the things that I would have seen if I hadn't been frightened.
Right, that you didn't let me take you.
So I listened.
That I would have taken you to.
You would have taken me there.
Because that's what I would have done downtown. I would have walked down that street.
So the lesson from this is I saw the things that I would have seen as well as the things I actually did.
Right.
If
You
I
didn't
hadn't
have-
taken action.
If you hadn't taken action.
So that proves you can take action and change things, yes.
Right, you were in control.
I was in
You
control.
told me not to go.
Yes.
So we didn't.
Yeah, and I did that because I was in control in the dream. So who is in control? You, Gary, or us? Answer is you.
Right.
So I took control today.
And you said it was okay.
And I said it was all right.
Therefore I was not the boss.
You're not the boss today.
No, you said we're not going there.
No, I didn't want to go there.
And what did I do? I listened.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's interesting that the point of this is that back on the 19th of June, I saw not only where I was going today, but where I was going and didn't go.
Yes.
So
Right.
that proves
Okay.
to me that you can change things.
Now where does the
And
circle
I'll
thing
come to this now,
Yes.
right? And my objective with this would be
Right.
to teach people in Israeli or whatever intelligence that
Right.
deal with things like this.
Now you didn't predict this bombing.
No, this is a new. No, I mean I can't predict everything. I'm not even thinking about Israel. If I was thinking about bombings in Israel,
Then you might have got it.
Then I might have got it.
Right. Okay. That's one of the things.
I predicted the shooting of Rabin.
Right. But we didn't want you doing
No,
this.
we
wanted you focused here.
No, but it comes into what the objective is.
I understand.
The long-term.
And the long-term objective is very clear, and I have told you.
I know.
Dream
But
Detective
I want
Inc.
to say,
Listen,
but I want to say
listen.
how it would work, how I see it would working, because you see, we've proved that Carmen can link to me.
I'm going to go there in a second.
Yeah.
We haven't put on the tape yet what Carmen. What did Carmen see in a dream?
I wrote it down here.
Good. So let's review it.
She was in town, and she
Right.
was riding a bike, and there was snow, and I said that meant danger.
Right.
And the moment I heard that,
You said
I
danger.
thought, if we're going to town, this is dangerous.
Did we go to town?
We did, but
We went to downtown.
but I listened to the danger warning.
Exactly. So we didn't do the
We
whole
didn't
thing.
do the whole thing. I
Exactly.
wasn't happy to do the whole
And
thing.
we didn't.
Right? One of the reasons I didn't was her Fatal Inca.
Right. Fatal Inca, which
I
was...
took it as Fatal Inca and Spanish.
Right. And she also has fate in there, which is very interesting. Because how does the fate relate to the Incas and Fatal? By the way, the Incas believed in destiny.
Yes.
And
Well,
we're going to go back, and I'm going to get an Inca mask.
yeah, well, that's all right. You can do that.
I'm going to.
Because she had masks.
Well, you're going to get there in a second. Right?
And
The
heart.
first, right. What was the mask dream?
I don't know, because you were talking to her, I just wrote down a very few fundamentals
Okay.
of what
Yeah. She was a man. She was trying to get information. And it was he was famous, and he wore a mask. And after he got the information, he took the mask off and revealed who was hiding behind the mask.
So maybe we're going to find God. God's going to show himself.
Exactly, maybe. What was the third dream? Was there one other dream there?
No, there wasn't. I didn't have any.
You didn't write it down. Okay. I don't remember what it was, but we'll eventually get it. Oh, but there was drums.
Drums.
That was what the other
Yeah,
dream was.
drummers. Orchestra, band, and drummers.
Orchestra band
That was her
and
first
drummers.
dream.
And where do we walk down? I parked next to a mask store.
Yeah.
African masks and other
The
masks.
next thing we saw was the drum store.
After we got the meters and the dishes,
Yep.
we walked down, and what do we see?
Drums.
The huge drum. Drums
Where's my
everywhere. There are drums over there. Let's get it on this thing here. And this drum is significant because it's got a face on it. What is it? Yeah, you can. And look, you've got lightning coming out of her eyes.
It's a
energy.
mugger.
What?
It's a mugger. Danger.
Danger. And who else has one like this?
You do.
And it's going to go in our respective offices,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's gonna
Yes,
go
we're going to
on.
remember. Okay.
Anyway.
So we've got down pretty much about the dream.
Well, my meters were fine. My window and meters.
Right.
We
Here's
ain't
what we
seen
don't
no
have.
meters except today.
Right. We haven't seen any meters except today.
No, we haven't yet got any journalists. I don't know where they are.
Okay. And we haven't gotten yet to
And
the
noise through the air.
Noise through the air.
But
we haven't
your
gotten.
record
But my
is
record was
a ballet in
significant.
air.
Tell about the ballet in the air.
We met
We met a woman who dreams.
Who dreams.
Who dreamt that she was
the
in
shop,
downtown.
and she sold me an Inca T-shirt.
She sold you an Inca T-shirt.
She sold
And
me
she paints records
and she
that have
paints
Victor on it
which have Victor on it
and a Victor Symphony.
and the Victor Symphony.
Right.
And Victor is the first person outside my family who spoke to me who is dead.
And what was the name of her album that she gave me?
I think it's It's
No.
it's
What was
ballet in air? It translates to.
I know, but what did her child call that record? It's called Open Heart.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
But I do, because it's
All right.
important.
I believe.
Because I think this all comes from the heart. The heart's here very important.
But as of 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, we're still missing 2 journalists, aeroplane noises,
Right.
air. But we have had part of that because your record is ballet in air.
Exactly.
All right.
So we've already got a sample of
A
this.
sample of it, but there's got to be more.
Right. And we got there through that girl with the
Yeah,
dreams,
yeah.
with the Inca teacher
Yeah.
that you revealed, and we're
Yeah.
going to go back and see that woman.
Yeah.
So it's not. So it's sort of like one thing.
You want to see my Inca t-shirt?
I want to see your Inca t-shirts. Okay, gorgeous. This is an Inca t-shirt. Let's get out of here now because I want to go downtown.
All right. But remember the danger.
Yes. We're back downtown. Christopher's in the car. He's in the car taking a picture through the window of the parking meters. And we're at the wig shop, which is important because I wanted to go in here this morning, but Christopher, we didn't have time, and fate led us to the only place we could find to park was right there. Now, by the way, here's Indian Village Trading Post, which I want to go in because I have a feeling there's something to do with guns in there, and that's where I was planning to take Christopher. Okay, I'm going to turn this off right now. Where did we go on the second or third day? We went to a Dillard's.
Dillard's, yeah.
And what was the big theme?
Heads.
And where do we saw heads all over the place.
Yeah.
And what was missing on that head?
Hair.
Yes, because it holds
I
wigs.
know, you want a wig.
I'm buying a wig for that thing, and now I'm in the wig store.
I just realised why I'm here.
Okay? That's why we're here.
He's a professor there.
Can I get copies?
These are copies for you.
He's going to give you these.
Oh, excellent.
You're going to get to take these home.
Excellent.
You'll be able to show Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I had in mind.
Right.
As well as
Exactly.
research.
Oh, look at this.
Is stranger than fiction.
There's my watch.
Well, is it? We have stories to tell that are certainly strange, and evidence compelling enough to make even the most skeptical wonder.
I fucked his wife.
The people who claim to have undergone these experiences are certainly convinced.
She wanted a bit of
We've
rough.
constructed what they described so that you can see what they saw and decide for yourself. Later, we shall hear a family tell how a poltergeist turned their lives upside down. First, is there a way that human beings can sense impending tragedy? Some of the worst disasters in history have been foretold by those who claim to have premonitions. Who would have imagined that the Titanic, the ship that couldn't sink, would do just that on her maiden voyage in 1912?
Oh, this is
Well,
wonderful.
14 years before...
I got a picture of you and my great-grandparents.
All right, lovely.
Ship afloat, rich and famous
Hi.
passengers, a collision with a
And there's the
iceberg,
famous
sinking,
writer,
and not enough life.
member of the team,
The ship was
who's
called,
going to bring this to the world.
but as
Soon.
premonitions are
Soon.
inaccurate, can nothing be done to stop
There are
them
all those
becoming
videotapes waiting to be revealed to the
We want
writer.
to copy them, you know.
Yes, we
Onto
will.
VHS and only work with the
Every
copies.
night, Chris Robinson, an engineer from Bedfordshire, dreams complex, disturbing images. Dreams that apparently come true, and have been so accurate that the authorities listened to his warnings.
What date was this recorded?
He is
What year?
designated
95 or
95.
96, I can't remember.
Okay.
Filter to see what he's saying and try and make something of it.
If I'm crazy, they're crazy too, and they're not crazy, so this is really happening.
Chris Robinson
line,
makes
eh?
notes of his
It's not
dreams.
bad.
The images at first are meaningless, but when he
Oh,
becomes...
look, they've got a video. They've done what I've done.
Yeah,
They've taken
they-
pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Terrorists. Fish mean
That's
terrorists.
what the only
Fish
book-
mean terrorists.
Snow means that the situation that I'm looking at is imminent and it's dangerous.
And who saw snow? You
She
did.
did last night.
Oh, she saw
Chris saw
snow.
danger when he had a series
But
of
we were in a
meetings
dodgy
at Royal
area.
Air Force Base, Stanmore Park in Middlesex.
I saw dogs in a graveyard, and I knew that dogs
Dogs
were
are IRA.
terrorists.
Yeah, IRA, always. We had that while we were here, more or less.
Clocks ticking.
Right.
There was photographic equipment. There were all these strange symbols.
Chris couldn't work out what the photographic equipment meant, but put together the other symbols predicted that terrorists were going to attack the airbase. The logbook there records how Chris phoned the guardroom to warn them of his premonition.
They didn't really know what to say to me on the telephone, so I then decided that I wasn't going to mess about anymore. I was going to drive down there and present myself at the main gate.
You read this anyway, you know.
I can't really explain what it feels like to know this.
You're going to see these same books that he's got on television 5 years ago, the same loop lights, everything else. That's what he's been using for the past 3 months. So we've got all that today.
I was nervous, but on
Same
the other
procedure.
hand, I knew
Exactly
that
the
if I
same.
didn't go there and warn them, there could be a lot of people killed.
Exactly the same.
Same handwriting.
Same handwriting.
Yeah, you look the same.
In the guardroom, Chris Robinson was interviewed by the duty sergeant.
What we didn't say is I was under arrest at this
You have
point.
to be very careful.
You
with
were?
situations
Yes.
like this.
They arrested me. But I didn't want to offend them by putting it in the program.
You know, in this country, the military can't arrest anybody but a military person.
Well, in England they can arrest you on military property.
Were naturally
But they couldn't release me, so they had to release me to Scotland Yard authorities.
These claims.
A couple of planes on the ground, static on the ground.
Contacted Chief Inspector to Bedfordshire Police to see if they knew of Chris, and in actual fact they confirmed that he had assisted him through his dreams.
Any idea of timescale? Any idea when this might happen? Some things I can't tell you, Sergeant. I can't tell you it's going to be 3 o'clock next weekend on a Saturday night. I can't tell you things like that. But it won't be
I was
long.
quite sceptical about this, but as a precaution we did see to double the guard for a week after his actual visit.
Explain me the bloody helicopter
Just
flying
over a
overhead
month
on
after
the
Chris
day.
Robinson first dreamt about
You
the
watch
day,
what they've got.
this was the news.
They just don't want to tell the story.
Questioned by police after a
Caught
bomb
two
went
people.
off an RAF administration depot at Stanmore in northwest London.
I initially felt shock and horror, but after I heard that nobody had been hurt, I felt absolutely delighted because I had been proved right again.
There's speculation this morning that the bombers may have entered the base at the back, where the perimeter fence joins the churchyard.
I'd had the dogs, that
And
meant
the graveyard.
terrorists. I'd had the clocks ticking, that meant the bombs. But I'd also had this photographic equipment. And it wasn't until after the explosion that I learnt that the building that was destroyed was a store where the RAF kept
All their cameras.
All the cameras, wow.
Look, they've got footage of everybody running. Now, how did they get that? Just happened to have a helicopter overhead and they happened to catch the two guys?
Chris Robinson's
Come on.
premonition about Stanmore Park could have been just a lucky guess.
Should they have restaged?
Could have been just a lucky guess.
No, it wasn't. That was the news footage that day.
Oh.
It
Oh,
could be just 1 in a billion.
Is it Dr. Hearn?
For instance,
1 in a billion chance.
statistics show there's one major
It's Carmen's
crash in
friend.
the world somewhere every 2 weeks.
This is Carmen's friend.
Coincidence can indeed explain away many cases. To me, I think that Chris Robinson's results are beyond coincidence. He's certainly come up with many interesting cases of things that are most unlikely to occur. And these interest me because they're not trivial things.
Dan Eldon was only 22, but already a brilliant news photographer. He'd grown up in Africa. Covering the war in Somalia, he was taking pictures of an attack by American helicopter gunships when a Somali mob turned on him and killed him. What wasn't known at the time of his death was that a few weeks earlier, Dan's mother, Kathy, had been warned by Chris Robinson that her son was in grave danger.
Chris was very concerned and came over to my house with a dream that he had had about a swarm of bees around my family.
She then told me that her son was in Africa, and I said to Kathy, I fear that the problem could be him, so please tell him to be careful.
Up to that point, no journalist had been killed. And I believe that Dan, with his streetwise aspect in Africa and
She
the
lives
fact
in
that
Los
he's friends
Angeles.
with so many people, that he would somehow make it through.
The images Chris Robinson saw made his fears for the young photographer grow, but he couldn't see enough to prevent what was about to happen.
Chris talked with a close friend of mine on the weekend before Dan was killed. He had a number of images that he couldn't make sense of. 4 dead photographers in a seaside place. Salt water will damage the lens. F4, rescue me, Kathy. Afterwards, it just makes so much sense. It's frightening. Talking about cameras, telescopic lenses, 4 dead photographers. There were indeed 4 who were killed. Salt water affecting the lens. They were in Mogadishu, which is a seaside town. And Dan, the day before he was killed, was photographing women Marines in bikinis on the beach in Mogadishu. The F4 is the kind of lens that Dan was using. Rescue me, and Kathy. That all makes sense to me.
I was with him when he died.
Oh, really?
Some would say
I'm often with them when they
You
die.
mean in the dreams?
Yeah, and
Wait.
I take them to heaven.
Wait, you didn't tell me this before.
No, well, we haven't got to a point where...
Okay, right. I know. We haven't got the really interesting stuff yet.
Yeah, we haven't got there.
That's important.
he was there when it did.
We can verify that with our mediums.
I'd had a series of dreams about an airfield, and I wondered why this was, because I had no plans to visit an airbase or anything. And in the dreams there was rockets, there was aeroplanes, there was explosions in the sky.
What did it all mean this time? Chris called his contact at Bedfordshire Police.
He then described seeing these rockets going up in the sky and then colliding, and these crowns coming down.
In Chris's next dream, the crowns became parachutes. Suddenly he knew what was about to happen.
I knew
All these
when and
dreams
what time.
made me realise that there was going to be a plane crash.
But where and
I
when?
went to film.
The following morning he phoned a friend, national newspaper astrologer Penny Thornton. He just heard...
She lives in
Oh, is this Penny?
Yeah, that's Penny.
Chris was very enthusiastic about going to an airship, simply because it somehow confirmed or affirmed to him the imagery of two planes crashing and fireworks and the parachutes descending, which he'd had in his dreams.
I decided to go. I had to go, really. There was nothing else you could do. I mean, I'd seen it all happen in advance, and I had to go there and know whether it was going to be real.
Chris immediately set off for Fairford in Gloucestershire, and the world's largest military aviation display, the International Air Tattoo. One of his premonitions was about to become reality in front of his own eyes.
Does this only happen in your dreams that you're with them when they die, or does it come to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
This was going to happen. I wasn't sad or upset
I take them.
because I knew that the pilots of the planes came down safely on their parachutes.
My wife became a Jewish husband that day. She didn't speak for 24
I
hours.
said, my God, you know,
All the way home. She couldn't speak. She was just
they come out on their parachutes. There's
done.
Two Russian
Was she only just beginning to accept
Yeah.
what you were doing?
Yeah. And I said, we're going to watch a plane crash.
Both pilots ejected and were only slightly injured.
You mean you were actually there?
Yeah, I went to watch it. I went to film it.
Bring me home.
They listened to what the policeman said.
His initial words were, "You'll never guess where I am."
I was at the right place at the right time, but how did I know in advance?
I told the police it was going to happen.
And so you actually witnessed it,
I went there to see it.
and she was there
My
with your
wife
wife.
and my little daughter was in a pushchair.
Oh my God.
Those who
And she
heard
couldn't
Chris
speak for
Robinson's
24 hours.
premonitions
No,
are ready to
nothing
believe
came out. She was trying to
and
talk
the
and
future.
it didn't come out. She was shocked. Totally shocked.
Tragically, the clues to photographer
That's the
Dan
prologue to the
Robinson's
book.
death didn't add up in time.
That's the prologue to the
But since
book.
then, Chris has
This
been
story.
able to help Dan's mother in another way.
That's the
You
prologue.
listen to this. I
Kathy
have
Elton is
to.
a former journalist herself, and wary of believing what she knows she wants to believe. But she's been astonished by the messages Chris has relayed through his dreams. Messages only her son could have sent.
He said he wanted money raised for the charity which was going to be named after him. He talked about film in his camera, where to find negatives that we had lost.
They'd lost. I told her where they were.
There was just this sense of tremendous life and joy that
How did she
radiated
come
out
to you?
of
She
his
came to you and asked for help?
No, I went and told her her son might die.
But he was still around
Before he
and
died.
away.
And how did you come to have her exact name?
After Dan Eldon's
I
death,
met her
remarkable
with a friend
pictures
of
were gathered together and
the
published
Queen's
as a tribute.
daughter-in-law at a party
And
the
proceeds
week
from the
before.
book go to the charity which his mother Kathy did set up in his memory.
But that could have been arranged, or part of the plan.
Well,
Oh,
if I arranged to kill the guy as well.
Right, that's
I mean,
what
how
I
much
mean.
of it did I arrange?
No, I don't mean that you arranged his death. I mean that once you start entertaining all this stuff, you start thinking about that it just didn't start, that the plan didn't start after you started having dreams. So once you entertain this hypothesis, it goes back as far as recorded history. And you got to think about it as a process.
Do you ask why me?
Not anymore.
But he did.
The only answer I ever got was who else?
George, the lottery's coming up.
Yeah.
You haven't
By the way,
any-
put this on blank for a second. Just put it on pause. Can you put it on pause?
It may well do. I haven't put my mind to it. I don't know whether I really want to.
So slow, these screens. Go on.
Okay, put it on pause. The only answer that you said was, what was this?
Who else?
Who else? Right. Now the who else question is very interesting. I recently asked a medium, and I can't remember who it was, about why Albert Einstein, for example, would be coming from multiple mediums to communicate with me about his continued existence. I said, why me? And the answer the medium gave, no, it wasn't a medium, it was the professor of electrical engineering from Brazil, because he had asked the same question about himself. And he said, Gary, he said, who else is Albert going to talk to? How many scientists have a laboratory? It's not that you're such a great guy. It's just that...
He said, who else?
You go, who else? You know,
Who else?
When you've only got a few people doing the work, you go where they're going to listen. And that's why William James worked with Susie Smith, I think. Because Susie Smith was one of the few people on the planet who was a journalist, who was taking detailed notes, who could channel. He didn't pick Susie because Susie was the smartest thing. He couldn't talk to any of the colleagues at Harvard or Yale or Stanford. They wouldn't
No,
listen.
because they wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
But Susie would listen, so that's where he went.
And who are the mediums who were getting messages from Einstein for you?
Oh, well, they include Laurie Campbell. Laurie's talked with Einstein. It includes Josephine Picardo, who you haven't told you about, who's absolutely outrageous. It includes, I think, what's her name? Alison Klupar, if I remember correctly. And there's at least one more. At least one more. All of whom have all of whom have independently said that they're talking to Albert Einstein. He's got messages for me. And you know, normally I would just dismiss that.
And he did speak to
But
me.
now, what?
Einstein spoke to me once, ages and ages ago, just as a one-off thing. I mean, I'd have to try and remember even where to start finding it. But the police asked me, why doesn't our dead police girl come to a police officer? And I said, because you're such a bunch of corrupt arseholes that she wouldn't have anything to do with you. And I said that in a police station with people all around me. And it's true. They are not impressed with all that corruption. And the police that aren't corrupt wouldn't be in a position to go to their boss and say anything because they're all scared of their pension. You know, if they go a little bit haywire, they pension them off somewhere. You know, our saying is they're directing salmon in the Outer Hebrides. That's what we say, policemen that go over the wall. You know, they'll be directing salmon in the Outer Hebrides. But it's true. What policeman would go to his boss with the conviction to put his career on the line and his pension?
Yeah.
And there ain't no one.
Right.
And that's it. Right, let's go. This refresh rate is
What's money? I have different priorities now.
Right, you've got different priorities. Chris, you don't help the punters, but you do help the police. And tell me how you do this, because this is extraordinary.
Well, I have had a couple of horse race dreams and winners, but the thing that really happens to me is I dream the future. And I can control those dreams, so I can ask a question. And in October 1989...
Do you ever ask him in the dream?
My really first...
Or do you let the dream play?
Sometimes I just let it play.
And where they were staying.
They'll tell you if they want to know.
And I went and told the policeman about this dream, and he said, oh, yes.
Very interesting,
And go away, you nutcase, you know, go back.
It's actually not true, I was just winding her up because I thought I was in for stick at the show.
11 days later, he was...
So I played a completely different role because I was worried that she was going to turn on me at any point. And you'll see how she turns on me in a minute.
And he almost crashed his car. I heard the same news and I thought...
So I've got a defensive attitude.
And then the police put me under surveillance. They can't believe me. I mean, I was the arch, you know, I mean, they don't know what they thought, but... And then I had some more dreams. I dreamt of, like him here, this horse race, which was very interesting. And I dreamt of an earthquake in San Francisco and various other things, which were the news. And the police came back to me and said, look, I mean, this is nonsense, isn't it? You can't dream the future. And I said, you're right, it's nonsense, but it's happening. I need an explanation. And in the beginning of 1990, we decided that every dream I had which could connect to a crime, I would fax it to the police station. And on the 5th of January 90, I faxed to the police station a dream about a little baby girl being kidnapped from a hospital in London and where they would find her a month later. And then I think it was on the Thursday, which was something like April 9th, baby Alexandra was kidnapped from St Thomas's Hospital in London.
They hadn't had a baby kidnapped since 1967.
Wow.
And then the police came up to where I was living and said, we've come to look for the baby, and they searched the place. And, I mean, I haven't got a baby. Well, I didn't have it that time. There was no baby there. And we waited and waited, and I went to my local church and I prayed that this would either help me or go away. And the baby Alexandra was duly found in a location which almost exactly matched what I dreamed. And then we got to February, and it was February the 19th, and I got another dream about a bomb, and this time the voice in the dream said, look, to make it easy for you, we'll give you a zip code. The bomb goes off in LE1.
That makes it easier.
Said, look, you've got to listen to me, there's going to be a bomb, it's going to be this afternoon, it's going to be in LE1, wherever that is. And I left the
I didn't know where it was.
Forcing them to take a statement from me.
And I forced them to make a statement, so I'm not leaving this interview room until you write this lot down.
Your postcode isn't
and they said they didn't have any time, and I said, look, I ain't fucking going anywhere, you've got to write it down. So they did in the end. The officer was George Fooey and Detective Sergeant Pierce.
You know, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I know the officers.
Something a bit sneaky.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
The police in Hertfordshire, because we, you know, this is a good show and we want to check out the guests. The police in Hertfordshire had this to say. A spokesman at Hertfordshire Police said that when Chris Robinson, the man sitting here, comes to the police with his dreams, he's taken seriously, and the information that he passes on to his established contacts, that Sergeant Richard McGregor, is acted upon immediately. So these people take you very seriously.
Yes, they do.
I was relaxed now, because I wondered what, I knew she was up to something, but I didn't know what. I thought she was going to do a wise one on me, but she just checked. Which is fine, I mean,
sure.
Time makes things less frightening, and I've got better at translating the dreams, and I've got more used to them coming and seeing the things that haven't yet happened.
When you say translating the dreams, so they don't happen literally, you don't see it.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you get a dream, what you see is what you get. And then sometimes you get a dream where there are symbols, and the symbols have a meaning. And I think that applies to everybody here. I mean, we all dream. We all have funny dreams which really can't make sense. I mean, you're flying without an aeroplane or things like that. But there are symbols in that dream which you have a meaning for.
We're going to be talking about the symbolism of dreams and what people's dreams mean in the second part of the programme. First of all, I want to see if anybody's got any questions for these men here. Would anybody like to ask George or Chris any questions at all? Yes, we're ready here.
Is there such a thing as dreaming that you're born?
Yes.
Dreaming such a thing that you're dreaming that you're born?
Well, I've dreamt my own birth.
Have you?
I've also dreamt of my own death.
Are you talking to him?
Yeah.
No, you dreamt your own birth.
I did have a dream of my own birth. And I was born into the room in the hospital. And this dream was in April 1990. And I thought, good Lord, why am I seeing my birth? And a couple of days later, I had another dream about dogs in a graveyard at an airbase.
I was born right opposite that airbase.
Bushey in Hertfordshire.
Right smack opposite the entrance.
Where I was born is an RAF base. And the dream later went on to mean that that was bombed.
Wow.
I got arrested at that airbase, warning them. They thought I was a bit cuckoo. And they carted me off into the guard room and gave me some severe interrogation. And then I discovered that the military police can't release you into
civilian
the
custody.
outside world. They have to release you into the police custody. So then I had a severe interrogation at Millstone police station. And they kicked me back to my car and said, I mean, it's not going to be bombed, is it? This is nonsense. 4 weeks to the day, that base was bombed. Now, if you want to say that that's a coincidence, you say what you say.
Did they come back and say sorry?
No, they came back and said, where's the next one going?
Right. Are you able to decide what you want to do? I mean, you're able to say, I want to dream about something,
yes.
whatever is going to happen. You're able to do that?
We're able to do it with a percentage.
Can't place her accent. Scots?
Not every time.
Her accent is Scottish.
Please give me a dream.
Because she asked me for a reading of tarot cards.
She did?
When I left the studio. And when I was looking at the cards, I could see a television in front of me with her as a newsreader. She is now the most famous news reader in the United Kingdom.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I told her that.
You
She's
did?
now the most famous newsreader on Channel 5. Yep, she is. And it happened. But I don't know whether that was a self-fulfilling prophecy because I told it to her.
Right. They may have given her the confidence to go after it.
Christopher, one of the things that, you know, I told you about this morning about what my professor said about me, about which I consider to be one of the greatest compliments I was ever given. My PhD advisor said that I had a gift for finding the gold in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that what you had been told by the priest at that very...
Mm-hmm. I had a gift for discernment.
Right. And one of the things that's very important in all of this work is the discernment of what information is meaningful, which is not, what is literal and what is symbolic.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating. On one of those programs you said that sometimes your dreams are just dreams and sometimes...
Yeah, but I know the difference.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes you're wrong. You are not always right.
Yeah.
Right.
But to the percentage of accuracy, it's useful.
Mm-hmm.
It's useful. Right, let's...
Well, you're better than Michael Jordan, that's for sure. And he's useful.
Wrote prophecies based on dream-like visions. This is what predicted, including world wars, space travel, has come true. But in fact, Nostradamus wrote rather generally about things that would happen in hundreds and even thousands of years' time. It's tougher for today's prophesiers. The public demands specific information about short-term events. And if prospects are catastrophic, the modern day Nostradamus must raise the alarm.
Now you look at the data and then the scene. Now, look at the data that they show you and then the scene of the atrocity. Look very carefully.
In early 1996, the IRA were preparing to break their 18-month-old ceasefire and unleash a new campaign of terror on the British public. As they made their preparations, one man named Chris Robinson was experiencing a series of disturbing dreams.
At the end of January, I was starting to dream of terrorist movements. And on the 1st of February, I had a very vivid dream where somebody spoke to me and said to me,
send this to the intelligence
service. Send this to the security services. So I then decided that, never mind the ceasefire, I'm going to take action.
To the police, Chris Robinson was no ordinary member of the public. For 6 years, Regional Crime Squad Detective Chief Inspector Alex Hall was allocated to be his police contact. Alex Hall remembers that Chris was very insistent that an attack was imminent.
He said that he felt very strongly that the ceasefire was about to end and that he was starting to have a lot more dreams about dogs, that is to say, the IRA, and people being injured.
Chris Robinson dreams in symbols. Dogs mean IRA terrorists, for example. But in this case, the symbols were mixed up with tantalizingly specific details
and look at that
about
drawing.
the location of the impending attack.
2 pillars and a bridge, meandering. Pillars, a bridge, tall buildings, by a waterside.
The Canary Wharf bomb, which ended the IRA ceasefire, was flung underneath a railway bridge, by water, near tall buildings. Unfortunately, the dream had not been specific enough.
Is that not what I drew?
The disaster.
Is that not what I drew?
Ordinary people with no previous experience of psychic phenomena.
That was just an intro to the second series of the series.
Was haunted by.
That's just a little quick series because they used me to introduce every series because I was the best. So the first series started with the one you saw, and then every other series they did, they used me to start it off because I had already predicted that there would be 4 different series and that I would start them all off. And that could have been self-fulfilling as well. But it actually came about that way. They did do it. And that guy who made that series, Danny Barraclough, the producer, is the one that I did the 4 boxes with Fred's Diamond, because he worked, and that story you know.
Right.
Right, we've done.
And now we've got on tape, right?
Right. Now, television companies can take the piss out of you. And these people desperately tried to take the piss out of me.
That is really